Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing the text 20 translation of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10. I am the Self, O Gudakesa, seated in the hearts of all creatures. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. In this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesa, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme God manifests himself in the material and spiritual worlds. Thus, these addresses by Krishna to Arjuna are significant. Because Arjuna is above such darkness, the personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the self or soul of entire cosmic manifestation by dint of his primary expansion before the material creation. The Supreme Lord, by his planetary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnations, and from him everything begins. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of the Mahatattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation, but the Mahavishnu enters into the Mahatattva. The total material energy, he is the soul. When Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as a super soul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless the supreme soul of Krishna enters. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing in the super soul in all manifested universes. A description of these three Purusha Avataras is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features: Karanodakasya Vishnu, Garbhodakasya Vishnu, Shirodakasya Vishnu. In this material manifestation, the Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean of Mahavishnu or Karanodakasya Vishnu. And therefore Krishna is the beginning of the universe and the maintainer of the universal manifestation and the end of the energy. Text 21 translation. Of the Adityas I am Vishnu, of the light I am the radiant sun, I am the Marachis of the Maruts, and among the stars I am the moon. There are 12 Adityas, of which Krishna is the principal, and among all the luminaries twinkling in the sky, the sun is the chief, and in the Brahma Samhita, the sun is accepted as the glowing effulgence of Supreme Lord and is considered to be one of his eyes. Marichi is the controlling deity of the heavenly spaces. Among the stars, the moon is the most prominent at the night, and thus the moon represents Krishna. Text 22 translation. Of the Vedas I am the Samaveda, of the demigods I am Indra, of the senses I am the mind, and in living beings I am the living force, which is knowledge. The difference between matter and spirit is that matter has no consciousness like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. Text 23. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of all the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am Lord of the wealth Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire Agni, and of mountains, I am Meru. There are 11 Rudras, of whom Sankara, Lord Shiva, is predominant. He is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. Among the demigods, Kuvera is the chief treasurer, and he is the representation of the Supreme Lord. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. Text 24 translation. Of priests, O Arjuna, known me to be the chief, Brihaspati, the Lord of devotion. Of the generals I am Skanda, the Lord of war, and of bodies of water I am the ocean. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of heavens. The planet in which he resides is called Indraloka. Brihaspati is the Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests, and as Indra is the chief of all kings. Similarly, Skanda, the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva, He is the chief of all military commanders, and of all bodies of water the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only gives a hint of his greatness. Text 25 translation. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several sons of the propagation of various kinds of species. The most powerful of his son is Bhrigu, who is also the greatest sage. Of all the transcendental vibration, the Om, Omkara, represents the Supreme. Of all the sacrifices, the chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no question of violence. It is the simplest and the purest. Whatever is the sublime on the world is a representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the greatest mountains in the world, also represent him. The mountain named Meru was mentioned in the previous verse, but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable. Thus, the Himalayas are greater than Meru. Text 26 translation. Of all trees, I am the holy fig tree, and among sages and demigods, I am Narada. Of the singers of the gods, Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha, and among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. The fig tree, Aswatha is one of the most beautiful and highest trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Among the demigods, they also worship Narada, who is considered to be the greatest devotee of the universe. Thus, he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them, the best singer is Chitraratha. Among the perpetually living entities, Kapila is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Later on, other Kapila become famous, but his philosophy was atheist. Thus, there is a gulf of a difference between them. Text 27 translation. Of horses know me to be Uchishrava, who rose out of the ocean, born of the elixir of immortality of lordly elephants. I am Airavata, and among men I am the monarch. The devotee demigods and the demons asuras once took a sea journey, and the journey nectar and poison were produced. And Lord Shiva drank the poison. From the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was horse named Uchishrava. Another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant named Airavata. Because these two animals were produced from nectar, they have a special significance, and they are representatives of Krishna. Amongst the human beings, the king is representative of Krishna, because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe, and the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications and are maintainers of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaja Yudhishthira, Maharaja Parikshit, and Lord Rama were all highly notorious kings who always thought of the citizens' welfare. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to be representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principle of religion, monarchy decayed and is now finally abolished. It is to be understood in the past, however, people were more happy under notorious kings. Text 28 translation. Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among the cows, I am the Surabhi, givers of abundant milk. Of procreators, I am Kandrapa, the god of love. And of the serpents, I am Vasuki, the chief. The thunderbolt, indeed a mighty weapon, represents Krishna's power. In Krishna Loka, in the spiritual sky, there are cows which can be milked at any time, and they give as much as milk as one likes. Of course, such cows do not exist in the material world, but there is a mention of them in Krishna Loka. The Lord keeps many such cows which are called Surabhi. It is stated that Lord is engaged in herding the Surabhi cows. Kandrapa is a sex desire for representing good sons. Therefore, Kandrapa is the representative of Krishna. Sometimes sex is engaged in only for the sense gratification. Such sex does not represent Krishna, but sex for the gratification of a good children is called Kandrapa and represents Krishna. Text 29 translation. Of the celestial Naga snakes, I am Ananta. Of the aquatic deities, I am Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, Lord of Death. Among the many celestial Naga serpents, Ananta is the greatest, as is Varuna among the aquatics. They both represent Krishna. There is also a planet of trees presided over by Aryama, who represents Krishna. There are many living entities who give punishments to the miscreants, and among them Yama is the chief. Yama is situated on a planet near this earthly planet, and after the death, those who are very sinful are taken there, and Yama arranges different kinds of punishments for them. Text 30 translation. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am Time. Among the beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda, the feathered carrier of Vishnu. Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The sons of Aditi are called Adityas. The sons of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and all the Daityas are atheists. Although Prahlada was born in the family of Daityas, he was a great devotee from his childhood. Because of his devotional service and godly nature, he is considered to be the representative of Krishna. There are many subduing principles, but time bears down all things in the material universe and so represents Krishna. Of the many animals, the lion is the most powerful and ferocious, and of the million variety of birds, Garuda, the bearer of Lord Vishnu, is the greatest. Which ends the text and translation of text 30 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is of chapter 10. Hare Krishna, keep listening. Thank you so much.